Hello and welcome to BWTV. India is on its way to becoming a smart nation. The vision of technology first, digital first homes is becoming a reality. Schneider Electric is playing a pivotal role in making this happen. In this conversation, we will listen how technology intensive and complex concepts like smart homes can sound simpler, easier. We will also talk on the lines of how storytellings can change the narrative when it comes to campaigning. We will also get a deeper peek into what's new coming from Schneider Electric. Today I have a very special guest with me, Mr. Rajat Abbi, who is Vice President Marketing of Schneider Electric India. Thank you so much, Mr. Abbi, for joining us. Today in India, we are seeing many people translating their homes to smart homes. The problem we face and we observe, and according to many industry reports, people find them intimidating. People find technology complex. In your view, in your understanding, how do you make smart homes really accessible, really needed? How do you make it simple for people?
Thank you, Resham, for having me on your show. I think India is changing. India is evolving very fast, fastest growing economy. Yeah, and when it comes to smart living, we see consumers in India with rising disposable incomes embracing smart living. But what we also see is that while people are focusing on smart living in few specific areas, for example, buying more smartphones or going for more smart appliances, is the overall lifestyle becoming smarter the way it should be? Probably there is a room to improve and there is a room to accelerate. What we believe is that there is still a thinking within many consumers, even evolved consumers, that smart living is a complex living, which means that if you go for converting your entire lifestyle into a smart lifestyle, it is complex. For example, if you have to go for smart home automation, as an example, we still are at a very nascent stage of seeing penetration of smart home automation solutions in the country. We at Schneider Electric, the most sustainable company in the world, believe that smart living needs to be simpler living also. Through solutions like Wiser Smart Home Automation System, we are ensuring that when we launch innovations for the India market or also globally, solutions are easier to understand, they are easier to operate, and also they are easier to understand, so that we are able to make the broadest and the biggest impact on our stakeholders.
Now, staying true to what you said, in your initiatives, in your narrative setting, in your storytelling, bring home the smart is one of the biggest thing that is coming out of Schneider Electric these days. From that approach, tell me, how is your storytelling working in that way? How with your storytelling you are making the tech digital first, digital savvy or smart homes more easier? Talk to us on the storytelling part.
You are right. Sometimes when you launch innovative products, it might be perceived as technologically superior, but at the same time complex to understand. So when we were thinking about this campaign, we were clear about the kind of products we want to bring in the campaign. Yeah, but we were also very clear that the narrative has to be more human, because eventually we want end consumers to understand not only the technology or the innovation or the feature, but also why should they embrace it. Yeah, so there were 3 set of films which we created around these 3 unique offers. The first film was around our Miluz Zeita range of switches with air quality indicator. We actually for this campaign picked children, because we believe that children, one, we believe they are the smartest of all of us. Second, we feel when children communicate something, it is easy to understand, because they would be able to communicate in simple words, in simple language, and who best to talk about technology, that too in a simpler way than children. So we did the first film, which was around Miluz Zeita switches with air quality indicator, because we wanted to talk about the benefit of having a AQI switch in your house. The second film was about the wiser smart home automation, and we actually talked about the geofencing feature. For example, all of us go for holidays, we go for short stays. Sometimes we worry that whether the geyser in my house was switched off or not, or let's say whether I left the house going to my office and the aircon was still working. Now with Wiser app and with the Wiser smart home automation, even if you forget that, you can control and you can switch it on and off. You can also ensure that before you go to your home back from a holiday, you find your home in perfect condition, the aircon is running. If you are in, let's say, cold weather, your geyser is also running, etc., etc. Then on the third film, we actually wanted to talk about safety. We believe safety is something which is extremely critical, and if you are not safe but you are smart, what will you achieve? Okay, therefore we talked about the third product, very interesting product, which is motion sensing LED foot lamp. This is another category which is a new category in India. It is not a very evolved category, but we really want this category to become evolved, because it can ensure that in your house, if you are facing problem in terms of kids falling or elderly people falling because of there was issue in terms of lighting not being good, etc., etc., through this unique innovation you will be able to manage it in a better way. Therefore these three set of films were created. Children were bring as the lead actors, I would say, but the thought really was to communicate the value proposition of these three offers in a unique way, in a simpler way, but also in a way which Indians can understand.
Now beyond what you said in terms of beyond keeping it information intensive, it also should touch hearts, as you said. How do you, I mean, from your observation, tell me, how do you observe a different variation or different perception when it comes to consumers' response when you see a developed community, developed ecosystem, evolved consumers versus the consumers who are evolving, who are on that path, who are yet to reach there? How do you differentiate between the two? Is there a difference really?
See, we at Schneider Electric provide solutions for a broad set of stakeholders. Yeah, so we have solutions for all type of consumers. For example, if you are somebody who has elderly parents in your home and safety is extremely important for you, something like a motion sensing LED foot lamp makes a lot of sense. During night, when there is dark, how do you ensure that not only your own safety, your elderly parents or even your young children, how do you ensure that they have a safe living? Similarly, if you are a very evolved kind of a consumer, when I say evolved means you are a gadget freak, you want the latest of the trends and technologies to be adopted by you, Wiser smart home automation is meant for you. For example, it has geofencing. You can control the entire solution with a very simple Wiser app. Similarly, if you are a consumer who's very health conscious, who wants a very healthy lifestyle, everything around you has to be healthy, the Miluz Zeita range of switches with air quality indicator can be a perfect choice for you. It is actually India's first or industry's first modular switches range, which comes with a built-in air quality indicator. You would be able to monitor what's the indoor air quality around you, and then if you want to switch on some devices which can improve the air quality and make you and your family have a better and a more healthy living, it can be a good gadget. So to sum it all, we have solutions for various type of stakeholders. You need to understand what solution will work for you and go for it.
Very interesting. I want to get into this deeper. When you talk about smart homes, there's a lot of discussions on making appliances smart, start from your mobile phone to oven, maybe refrigerator, television, ACs, all of the appliances. Everybody in the industry is talking about smart technology. What according to you is smart?
According to me, smart is something which is connected, something which is digital, something which is simple, but end of the day, something which makes you more happy. Yeah. Now, if you look at India or even if you look at globally, and I will come back to what I responded earlier to you, there are some categories or products where there is already the evolution is rapid. For example, smartphones. Everyone is nowadays using smartphones. I don't think so people are using non-smartphones. If you look at home appliances, we have come a long way in making our appliances smart. Yeah, for example, we are entering the festive season. Festive season is also a very important season when we see a lot of acceleration in the demand for products like appliances, smartphones, consumer electronic items, etc., etc. But when it comes to upgrading your home into a smart home, we still see consumers are still thinking. They are still thinking, they are still evaluating. Probably they are thinking, they are evaluating, but they are not deciding. And that is what I think this campaign is trying to do. It is encouraging people to understand the benefits of smart living. Smart living also is a rational living, because if you are using, for an example, a wiser smart home automation, not only you are connecting your appliances and other devices in your home, you are also saving significantly on your energy cost. There is a significant amount of energy saving which you are getting, which means on one tangent you are saving cost in terms of your electricity bills. On the other tangent, you are also becoming more sustainable. So I would say that Indians and India need to consider smart or smartness not only from few categories but overall holistically, including a category like a smart home automation.
Very interesting. You briefly mentioned about festive season. It's almost here. We are entering that phase of festivals. That is the time when every family, most of the families wait for that time whole of the year to buy new things, home decor, maybe furniture, maybe appliances. Now for a category like home automation that is yet to be more talked about in India, what is your approach in terms of making people aware, making people talk about it more? Home automation or smarter homes, talk about that. What is your strategy and approach when it comes to Schneider in the coming months?
See, you are absolutely right. Our strategy is simple. We want to create more and more awareness. We believe that it is all about awareness. Once you are able to make people aware about a technology or a solution which is accessible, which is easy to understand, but which is also a sensible decision to make, we will see more faster adoption. While we have launched our Bring Home the Smart campaign, we will continue to find other means and ways of engaging with our target audience, whether it is consumers, whether it is retailers, whether it is architects or interior designers or home builders, to really ask them to embrace smart living holistically. Therefore, you rightly said, this is also a time when people will go for home makeovers. They will, for example, change paints. For example, paint job is big. Lighting, consumer durable appliances. We will be asking people to also consider not only shifting towards, let's say, decorating their house with a better paint or getting beautiful lighting. We will also be asking them, is everything connected? Are your gadgets, is your lighting connected? Are you converting your home into a smart home? Are you showing yourself as a green Yodha? Green Yodha, by the way, is a initiative of Schneider Electric, which we started to bring consumers and customers, policymakers and stakeholders together to not only discuss but really take actions around sustainability. So this Diwali, this festive season, we will be reaching out to our consumers, our partners and other stakeholders and really creating awareness around our new portfolio, innovative portfolio, including wiser smart home automation and Miluz Zeita range of switches, but really also asking them to embrace smart living holistically. Try maybe our products, visit our experience centers, visit our retail outlets, visit our website, see what a smart home automation can do for you. And I'm very confident that once they understand the solution, once they understand the value proposition, they would be interested in trying it.
Just a little bit more on this same point when you talk about return on investment. In India, we see that market is very price sensitive. And we understand that there is variety of consumers out there that you need to address. Now, when we talk about return on investment, you have the narrative of encouraging them to cost on energy, save on energy cost, go more greener, and all of that in one part. But when it comes to the cost of turning their homes into smart homes, what is your proposition? How would you be able to address people who are not on the higher end of spendings? How would you address that set of consumers?
So what I would say, that everyone wants to be seen as smart, whether you are in India or across any of the geographies. First thing which anyone, right from a school kid to, let's say, a very senior person, everyone wants to be seen as, no one wants to be seen as a non-smart person. Now what is the definition of a smart person? A smart person has to understand what is going around them. They need to live in today's world, but they need to also understand what is going to happen in future. Now you talked about ROI. There are many benefits of embracing a smart living, or as an example, going for a smart home automation. First example I already talked about is energy saving. More than 20% energy saving from Schneider's Wiser smart home automation system. More energy saving means lesser electricity cost. Lesser electricity cost means more money in your pocket to do other things. So that is the first ROI. The second ROI is on sustainability. End of the day, India will be a sustainable country. There is a strong vision which we have as Indians, as a country, on the path of sustainability. Now you have to play that role. You can't say that the country has to become sustainable, but I will not play a role. With a product like smart home automation, you are getting that opportunity not only to save on your electricity cost or energy savings, but also to be seen as a green Yodha, as somebody who is actually playing their role in sustainability. The third, which is your personal brand. When I go to a friend's house, and just as an example, if I go to two houses and one house is smart home, the other is not a smart home, but I see the same set of gadgets in both the houses, what is the perception of A versus B? The perception always is that person which has the same set of gadgets but has a more connected approach, has a more smarter home, is more smarter. So it is also good for you to be seen as a more smarter person, not only talking about that but really demonstrating it by going for smart home automation, more smart appliances, maybe EV cars, and etc. etc.
Not just for our assessment when we look at consumers, how they are perceiving the smart home concept, but also from a consumer's perspective, it looks really aspirational, and everybody is ready, at least in their head, to head on that path. Maybe with more accessibility, more awareness, we will see that change very soon in India. Just the last bit of our conversation, Rajat, we talked about bringing smart homes as a central limelight for many of the consumers this festive season. And then when we know that Schneider is getting deeper with its B2C segment, what are some of the newer marketing campaigns that we can expect?
Schneider Electric is a strong player in India in the energy management and industrial automation space. Now, as we have already mentioned several times, that we also want to become very strong in the B2C electricals market. Bring Home the Smart campaign is one of the examples, or one of the campaigns through which we want to talk about the new innovations we are launching. We will continue to use festivals and also beyond festival different opportunities to engage with our target audience, because if I look at the B2C space, our target audience itself is very broad. For example, we have to engage electricians, we have to engage retailers, we have to engage distributors, we have to engage builders, the home builders, and above all, we have to engage consumers like you and me. Okay, so we will continue to work on creative campaigns. It is important for a responsible brand like Schneider to bring meaningful innovations for the India market, something which is easy for people to understand, which is futuristic, but at the same time, when we come out with a campaign, it should be differentiated, it should be creative, but at the same time, it should also be touching the hearts of Indian consumers. We will continue to gather market feedback and insight and see what more we can do as a company, as a brand, to not only win the minds of consumers but also to win their heart.
Interesting. We wish you all the very best for all your plans and initiatives, and all the best for the festive season. Thank you so much for making time and speaking with us. Thank you, Rajat.
Thank you, Resham. Thank you.